What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Scofflaw Brewing Company, and they're out of Atlanta, Georgia, and this is their Basement IPA. So this is an IPA that comes in at 6.5% alcohol by volume, 55 IBUs, and at the time of review, this can is approximately 2 months old. I'm gonna give a huge thanks and shout out to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Wes, for this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Wes hooked me up with. And I'm really happy he sent me a Scofflaw beer because I've heard pretty good things about them over the years. And this, I'm pretty sure, is like a flagship beer. So they have a little spiel here on the side of the label that I'll read. It says, the first IPA from our original Basement Brewery. This one's made for people who like to do things their own way, just like us. It's dank, juicy, and stacked to the brim with Citra hops. So I don't know if they are solely brewing this with Citra hops or it's just like featuring Citra hops, but regardless, Citra is in this. And they did say on their Untappd write-up, although they didn't say it on their website, this is supposed to be like a northeastern IPA, so I think this is going to have some decent haze, but I think it's going to look kind of like an older school like northeast IPA. I don't think it's going to have that like bright kind of look to it, but we could be totally wrong like I usually am. Let's pour it out. Let's see. Yeah, so it definitely has a haze to it, but it has that color that's you're accustomed to from like older school northeastern IPAs. It just has more, it kind of looks like an old school like Vermont IPA, maybe a little bit darker. But yeah, it has this murky honey orange color, more to like the orange side of things. Very murky and turbid though. Has about almost a 2-finger of an off-white, almost very lightly tannish color head that is pretty creamy looking. Hold it up to the light, can't see through it. Yeah, that looks really nice. Let's get a nose. Wow. That's crazy. That smells like fresh tangerine. Like I have a tangerine in front of me, maybe like a cutie orange, where you just slice it and just that aroma that hits your nostrils as soon as you slice it. That's kind of like the citrus oils or whatever you want to say. That's what's kind of hitting me in the nose, like citrus oil. There's a little bit of like a bready caramel, like light base kind of malt. But man, I can't. This smells like a freshly cut open orange or tangerine, or even like a freshly squeezed glass of orange juice. Like, it's crazy. Wow. Was not anticipating that. Seeds and all. It smells. I used to, and I mentioned this a couple times on the channel, but I used to make my own orange juice with my grandma. She had one of those old school, struggling here for words, but juicers. You know, one of the juicers where you would cut the orange in half and then turn it and juice it yourself, like very old school, like from the 40s or 50s. And we used to do that every Sunday, make breakfast and make homemade orange juice. And this is bringing me back to that. And this is like the second or third beer that's ever done that. And it's really cool. I just start getting nostalgic and memories start flowing and I start getting a little bit emotional, but it's a cool memory. So this is awesome. But after that, get maybe a little bit of like a stone fruit, maybe like a peach or an apricot. And it's funny with Citra hops over the years, like a lot of folks would get citrus because you think Citra means citrus. And for me, it's never really been the case. It's always been, for the most part, like stone fruits, peach mostly, maybe apricot, nectarine, things like that. But this just smells like freshly squeezed orange juice. Like there's maybe a little bit of dank character they're talking about. And this is 2 months old. Not that it's like super old or anything, but I would anticipate this kind of aroma coming off of like a 2-day old or even a 2-week-old can. This smells awesome though. I like it. Very simplistic in its delivery in terms of the aromatics, but just working for me. So cheers everybody, and thanks again, Wes. Are we sure there's not oranges or tangerine or something here? Are we positive about this? Man, if I was doing this as a whodunit beer review or a mystery beer review, I would, with 99.9% certainty, guess there is some kind of citrus fruit, and I would say orange or tangerine. This is a pretty bitter beer, honestly. Mouthfeel for 6.5%. It's pretty much medium body. It's good for what it is. The mouthfeel has a mild to moderate carbonation, more approaching moderate, but it does have a smooth, almost creamy sensation. It's not big. It's not like a lot of the New England IPAs you get, but the body mouthfeel are really nice for 6.5% IPA with Citra. The taste, I can't get over this. I mean, I'm going to sit here probably until the end of the review and just gush about that orange/tangerine character. It's just, it's just so cool, honestly, in a beer that doesn't have that in it, like doesn't have actual citrus fruit, to get that just from the hops, from the ingredients, pretty fantastic. Right up front, it's just freshly cut oranges or tangerine, freshly squeezed orange juice. That's the first thing that hits me. Carries on through the palate. There's a little bit of like a bready caramel malt sensation, dives underneath the palate. Midway through the palate, underripened peach, apricot, nectarine, stone fruit vibe. And then on the finish, this finish is full on dry with a moderate bitterness, and there is a little bit of that dank, I would say more of like a dank grassiness on the finish. I don't know what that is, if that's a motorcycle or car, but man, that sounds crazy. Crazy, not in a good way. Anyway, yeah, so the negatives for me. This might be a little bit too bitter and dry. Like I could deal with a substantial dryness or a substantial bitterness, but when they go hand in hand, it kind of drowns out the sweetness of the beer. And this beer isn't overly sweet to begin with. I'm saying orange juice and tangerine juice and freshly squeezed, but it's not overly sweet. Like if you make homemade like orange juice, it's not crazy over the top sweet. So I'd like a little bit more balance from that perspective. That's pretty much the main negative I have here. The other one would be a little bit more complexity. Would be nice out of something 6.5%. I'm pretty much getting a couple characters and that's it. But that orange tangerine character, it tastes so authentic that it blows my mind. And for something that is like a flagship beer, and we're going to talk about price point momentarily, but for something that's a flagship beer in and around Atlanta, and maybe even in the South in general, this is really good. I would definitely pick this up again if this was available local to me, and I'm very happy that Wes sent me an extra can because, again, I can't get over the substantial, authentic orange and tangerine character. All right, I'm going to stop with that. But this is pretty good. 6.5%, maybe a little warming in the chest. You really can't tell too much, but it's really good. Yeah, Basement IPA from Scofflaw. Maybe this is me and only me because I'm getting that character I've been talking about, but I'm going to give this a straight 4.25 out of 5. That's where this beer lands with me. I think it's for a flagship 6.5% IPA. This is damn good. So thanks again to Wes. Price point availability. Now, Wes didn't say what 4 packs of 16-ounce cans cost. He said the 12-ounce cans that this come in, because I think this also comes in 12 cans, $19.99 12-pack. That is very akin here to Hayburner from Big Ditch. And there's a lot of similarities between this and Hayburner from Big Ditch. Hayburner's a little bit bigger at 7.2%, but it does have a pretty big citrus tone, a little bit of like tropical and stone fruit, but the value's there. And it's a great local IPA, one of the best in the areas, especially bang for buck. So if this is kind of in that realm, and after drinking it, like not exactly identical or anything, but kind of in that realm, I can see why a lot of folks like this one. And availability, I have no idea with Scofflaw. Like I said, I'd imagine they're in and around Georgia, probably some neighboring states at this point. But if anybody out there knows their distro, I would love to hear it. I'm just happy that Wes sent me this, and I'd love to try others. They when I was on their website, they also had one that was POG, which is, was it passion fruit, orange, and guava. Like, I love anything POG. So that would be a fun one to try. Like a POG version of this would probably just go bonkers, especially since the orange is already authentic. I said I wouldn't say anymore, but I did. Anyway, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Thanks again to Wes for this one. Thanks for all the beers, Wes, but this just cool, nostalgic, like I said, brings up memories of my grandma, and those are good memories. And, you know, maybe I'm rating this a little bit higher than I normally would just because of that, but it is what it is. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.